Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Well, first of all, as you may hear, my voice is going out. Now, I don't know if I'm getting sick because I don't feel sick. However, my voice is going out for some reason. So, I'm going to try to get through this the best that I can. So yeah, I don't know. I may have been poisoned by the men in black. I'm not sure yet. But if I suddenly stop posting, well, then you know something is up. But I'm hoping it's the latter. So, today we want to show you some very interesting new images and video footage from some of NASA's Apollo moon missions when we walked on the moon, as well as some STS space shuttle video that we've never shown before on this channel, showing these craft that are out in space, moving, changing trajectory, and changing velocity. I mean, these things are moving, making hard right and left-hand turns. They're not just space debris tumbling through space. These things are moving and making turns up there. So definitely watch the entire video. We've got some really amazing evidence to show you guys. Now, the first of which is this new image that was actually just discovered and posted by another UFO researcher by the name of StreetCap1. And if you haven't checked out his channel, do so. He finds a lot of amazing anomalies in these Apollo moon images and various images from space. So he does a real good job. So this image you're seeing here is from Apollo 17, and we will again post the link in the video description to all of these images. And as we begin to zoom in, and you'll see a small bright object above the moon in the distance. However, as we zoom in, it becomes very clear that this is not a star, it is not the lunar orbiter, and indeed is an unknown flying object of some sort, with what looks like various parts to it, and just very anomalous surface structures. Now here is a little bit of perspective change, kind of flipping it on its side here, and you can clearly see the sunlight reflecting off of the top of it. You can see various surface features down below that are in shadow. And this thing, I mean, it looks sinister just looking at it. I mean, it does not look very friendly. But, of course, that means nothing. And it likely isn't. But nonetheless, it's up there. I mean, it could be sinister. I mean, there have been talks for years that the Apollo astronauts were warned off of the moon after they encountered someone else up there. Hence the reason why we've never been back in over 40 years. So, it's an amazing new discovery. And you guys look at it and you be the judge. Maybe throw it into Photoshop, mess with it, see what you can find. Now, speaking of Apollo 17, we want to show you some more images, some of our favorites from that particular mission, showing some other very anomalous things that were caught in the skies above the moon. Because it is my inclination that the Apollo astronauts were being watched while they were doing their moonwalks, their EVAs, and their work for the short time that they were on the moon's surface. And we've played you the video clip before on the channel, taken on the moon, where the Apollo astronauts even speak about how they've had visitors again, flying overhead. And so we move on to some of our favorite Apollo 17 images, some of which we've featured on the channel before and some we haven't. So the first image you're seeing here, and if you remember, we actually posted a video on this recently. It's where you'll see a shot of the rover that they had on the moon, driving around on the moon, and way up in the sky in the background, and you really have to zoom in on it, we begin to see these three blue lights in a perfect triangle shape. And what you're seeing here is a zoomed in version of that. And in all of our years of research in moon anomalies, and structures that have been seen flying above the moon, we've seen triangles, we've seen saucers, we've seen rectangular cigar-shaped objects. And those are usually the main three structural types that you'll see, even on Earth, in a lot of UFO footage on Earth. And it can't be a coincidence, because we have nearly 100 years worth of UFO footage, video, images, photographs, and the three main types are triangles, saucers, and cigars. so it's not a coincidence. However, and this brings me to the next image from Apollo 17, we come to much more strange and abstract objects. Now this, again, was captured on the moon during the Apollo 17 mission, and you can see this vector-shaped object in the background, and it's blown up here on the top left side of the screen, making sort of this Y shape, and again, very strange. Now, I don't know if this is the sun reflecting off of it, or if it's emitting its own sort of green glow from within, but nonetheless, this thing looks to be streaking across the sky. It was caught in the image, and yeah, it's just one of these one of these images where you look at this thing and you just gotta wonder. I mean, that's all you can do, but at least we have photographic evidence, and we can link it up to other potential identical craft in other images. And again, we've talked about this, how the vector shape, as you're seeing here, has a very special meaning in NASA images. Virtually all of the space agencies use the vector shape on their logos. And this is certainly not the first time we've captured a UFO in this shape in NASA footage or in space imagery. Now, to our third Apollo 17 image, we go to this, which is one of my personal favorite images, because it shows a pretty clear capture of something poking out of the shadow of a crater. Now, you may already see it from this zoomed out view, but if you look at this large crater down at the bottom of the picture, you'll see a small dot sticking out of the darkness of the crater. So as we zoom in here, we come to notice what looks like, at least in my opinion, a saucer-shaped object sticking out of the shadow of this crater. And if you look closely, and we've analyzed this image in depth in the past, but if you look, it looks like it has a metallic surface texture. We can see the sun glinting off of it, again, which makes me think the way the sun is reflecting off of it, that it is metallic. It has sort of a domed top, and then you can actually see the ring wrapping around it here at the bottom. You can see there's a definite change in the direction and the structural features from the top to the bottom, where on the bottom we have this typical ring that you will see wrapping around many of these saucers, and you can even see what look like some small circular objects also moving along the end of this ring here. So again, it could be a saucer, it could be, well, we'll just say it's a domed structure, and would have to be pretty massive. And I mean, again, looking at the zoomed out view, you can see this thing sticking out like a sore thumb. So again, these are just a few more Apollo 17 images that I wanted to show you guys. And of course, we have Apollo 11, we have Apollo 12, Apollo 13, 15. We have various Apollo missions with a ton of film and photographic evidence. So go back through our past videos if you're a new subscriber and watch those. And we've got more to come. So now I want to show you some very damning evidence, in my opinion, of objects, once again, caught moving, changing velocity and speed in space while the astronauts are up there working on the space shuttle. And again, we've never shown these on the channel before. So I will go ahead, for the sake of losing my voice even more, and I will play you the clips, and we'll show you a variety of slow motion versions, but you're going to see the same clip loop over a few times. And this first clip is actually from the STS-127 mission. And what you will see is a UFO coming into frame, going very fast, and then suddenly changing trajectory, velocity, and direction. So watch that, and we'll come back and talk in just a second. So as you just saw, in various formats and versions, we showed you an inverted negative version, some slowed down versions, and now in this still image here, we're basically doing a frame stack where you can see the object when it appears at every point in the video, and you're basically seeing the flight path of the object here. So all of these dots that you're seeing here are actually the object from each frame, basically all put into one image, so you can get a clear line of the flight path it was taking. And you can clearly see that it shoots in and then curves up, makes a turn, and moves in a completely different direction, as well as changes speed. And, you know, this footage is very similar to some of the past STS footage that we've showed you guys. We posted a few recent videos in the last 2 weeks showing you various pieces of STS mission footage, showing these objects changing speed and velocity, appearing out of nowhere, materializing, sitting atop Earth, rotating with the Earth, and basically doing all manner of maneuvering. So here is the last piece of footage that we want to show you for this video before my voice completely goes out. It's from the STS-123 mission. And again, we have a view of multiple objects floating in space. I believe this was taken with the infrared camera. And we'll let you watch it, and we'll see if you can catch it. And then we'll come back in just a second. Alright, so did you guys catch it? I know some of you out there with your eagle eyes had to have seen it, but for those of you who didn't, here's the video again, and I want you to put your attention down to the lower right corner, where you will see an object come into view, moving downwards before changing once again speed and direction and shooting out to the right, out of view of the camera. And here's an inverted version, again, down in the lower right corner. And this thing, it looks to simply materialize out of nowhere, as you can see in this inverted version. I mean, it doesn't come from the top, it just looks to appear. And here we will zoom in for you for the best shot that we could get with some contrast and image enhancement. So again, we have another object here in a separate mission, changing velocity and speed and direction, which space debris does not do, and that dust particles do not do, unless they're right near a jet. And in this footage, we have multiple objects in the field of view of the camera, but none of them move. So when you have other objects in the camera that don't move, and then you have one or two other objects that do suddenly change direction, that gives you a pretty good frame of reference that there are no jets being used on the shuttle that would disrupt any objects that were in view of the camera. None of these other objects in the camera are being disrupted. Hence, there are no outside forces that are causing these objects to change direction other than themselves. So again, it's all food for thought. It's some amazing footage, and we want to know what you guys think. Now, I want you to stay tuned, because I'm going to be working on another video tonight, and I may try to get it up. If not, I will get it up tomorrow early, but I am going to work on it and try to get it up tonight. So stay tuned. We've got some amazing stuff in the pipeline. And yeah, be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter for updates to new videos that are on the way. So tell me what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being patient as I've struggled to talk clearly through this video. I really appreciate it. So thanks again, and we'll see you back soon. Stay safe, guys.